morning. Welcome to the maiden broadcast of Piece by Piece, kwentuhan tungkol sa kapayapaan. Today, we have invited here Assistant Secretary Rolly Asuncion and Ms. Jana Gallardo from the Office of the Presidential Advisor on the Peace Process to discuss different government initiatives and ways on how the general public, we, can contribute to achieve the elusive peace in the country. Aside from the formal negotiations, what are the other initiatives being done by the government that forms part of the peace process?
If we base it on the current Duterte administration 6-point peace and development agenda, the fifth and the sixth agenda, for the fifth, you have there the catch-up development for conflict-affected areas, which is basically focused on addressing socio-economic challenges of conflict-affected areas. And then the sixth agenda is ensuring that there's an enabling environment for peace in the country. So that's where our interventions or efforts on conflict sensitivity, peace education, culture of peace comes in.
Kasi a lot of people, when they hear the word peace process, they would always equate it to peace negotiations. When in fact, that's the very reason why it's called a process. Peacemaking or the negotiation is only the start of a long process. It also involves peace building. It also involves conflict prevention and conflict management. And under these different themes are various initiatives, implementing the peace agreement and rehabilitation and development of conflict-affected areas. Only one of the things that we do here in OPAP. A larger chunk actually is peace building, making sure that we address the root causes of the conflict so that it will not recur.
During one of the interviews with Secretary Duresa, he mentioned that peace and development should come hand in hand. And as you have both mentioned, OPAP is also implementing some socio-economic development initiatives. May we know what is the difference between these initiatives and the programs that other organizations are implementing?
Pamana is actually, a lot of people would say it's an anti-poverty program. It addresses the socioeconomic conditions in conflict-affected areas, but it's more than that. It's more than just a poverty reduction initiative. It is actually a peace-building initiative rather than a development initiative. Meaning, the projects of Pamana projects are just vehicles actually to really understand the dynamics of conflict in this area so that we can sustainably address these issues and concerns through various means. For example, it's not just about delivery of infrastructure. Hand in hand is the strengthening of formal and informal institutions. Projects are identified not just looking at the socioeconomic condition, but really addressing the root causes or the driving factors of conflict in the area, which is very important if we want sustainable solutions to the conflict in this rural communities. And lastly, empowerment of the community, not the general empowerment, but empowerment for them to be able to resist violence on their own.
So it's peace promoting.
It's really
In a
peace
sense.
promoting and conflict sensitive. Conflict sensitive meaning you do not exacerbate the conflict by introducing your programs. As we know then, no? However good intentioned we are, sometimes we ourselves create conflict in the area because livelihood projects, for example, is all about distribution of resources, of scarce resources. So definitely, there are people who would receive the fruits, and there are possibilities that some sectors will be marginalized. So when you deliver Pamana program, you ensure that everybody benefits, that the processes are inclusive and participatory.
Okay.
Just to add, as mentioned by Asek Rolly, that the Pamana also hopes that through our initiative, we'll be able also to influence how the local government prepare their development plans, because we can't always be there, no, on the ground. So there would be times that we have to pull out to invest in other areas. So when we help them mainstream conflict sensitivity, peace lens in doing their programs, projects, and activities, then on their own, they will be able to address conflicts in their area and not creating, no, or exacerbating existing conflict.
So it's basically really not just to deliver socioeconomic development programs, but to ensure the sustainability and that conflict is not exacerbated and peace is promoted in the areas.
So the primary goal really is how you contribute to social cohesion in the community. So more than what you are providing the community, it's the process of how you provide this intervention.
Okay.
Like, do they promote intergroup relationship? No? Relationship building in the peace process is very important. Sabi namin, peace building is all about relationship building.
Okay. Having said all this, how can the general public contribute to the peace process?
Ako, the way I see it, no, since social media is very popular in the Philippines, and I think that one important role that the general public can help us in the peace process is for them to promote, especially when they see good news on the peace process, either it's peace negotiations or our interventions on socio-economic. If they can share it, those news in the social media, so that we can also drown out yung mga news that highlights war, violence.
We in OPAP, we believe that everyone has the capacity to promote peace. The general public, can contribute by embracing values related to peace. As I said, the building peace is about relationship building. A lot of our existing conflict in society is brought about by biases, prejudices that comes from how people think, the attitude of people. So as an individual, you have a role to play in terms of not promoting hatred, negative perceptions about people. Respect, tolerance. The Philippines, for example, is really a diverse country in terms of culture, religion. So we would really have to embrace the value of acceptance, tolerance, and respect, and try to see how these differences can be harnessed for a more positive outlook or initiatives.
Thank you so much, Asek Rolly and Miss Jana, for this very informative and very productive talk.